In this tutorial, we're going to look a little bit more at scripting with flow by creating the rotation of our character. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back to our unit editor and take a look at our flow here. We've got our thumbstick working to where if we press it, it's going to move the character along its forward axis and it's resetting that position. Now the problem that we have is that it's always moving the character forward and it's not rotating the character in the direction that we're pressing the thumbstick. So let's go ahead and get this set up. Now I don't want to go through and create all of the nodes again because I have the rotation code from another project that I can just insert here. And so I'm going to show you how you can take snippets of code from Flow and use those in other projects so that way you can share it with your teammates and you can do it very, very easily. So let's go ahead and import some code. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring up a file, and you can find this in your assets folder under scripts, and you'll see player_rotation.txt. I like to go ahead and open mine up in Notepad++. So here inside of Notepad++, you can see that I have a bunch of code. And you may not understand exactly what it means right now, but that's not important. All I care about is getting the code into unit flow. So I'm going to hit Control A to select all, then Control C to copy it. Then we're going to go into unit flow, and we're just simply going to right click and paste. Look at that. It has brought in some code that I have copied from another project. Now you might be wondering, how did you do that? How do we get that code? If I want to give code, how do I do that? Well, all you'll need to do is select the nodes, including groups if you have them, that you want to include, and you'll simply right click and copy, or you can hit Control C to copy it, and then go over to your favorite text editor, and I'm going to create a new document just to show you, and I'll hit Control V. Notice how that has pasted in. Perfect. Then whoever is getting this text file, you can just simply hit Control A, Control C, and then go into your project and hit Control V to paste it in just like I showed you. So now that we have our rotation code in, let's talk about it just for a moment to get this updated. So right here you can see that we're getting rotation from vectors, and what I'm looking for is the up rotation of my character. So I'm looking for the z-axis. As you can see, it's typed in, it's 0, 0, and 1. So 0 in the x, 0 in the y, 1 in the z. I'm taking that rotation value and I'm converting it down to a numerical value because I want to add the z value to my active camera. Now the reason that I want to get my active camera's z rotation is because it needs to offset it. What I want to do is whenever I press the thumbstick, I want it to rotate my character in the direction that I'm pressing the thumbstick. So if I press it up, I want my character to face up in the world. So I want that to match. That's what this is doing here, adding those together. Then we take those rotations from, or we take those components of the z value that we've gotten from those, and we're reconverting those back into rotation and setting the rotation of the unit in its local rotation. So now we need to get that updated into the position itself. So let's go ahead and get the left thumbstick, and I'm going to disconnect it from here. And what I want to do is I want to take the left thumbstick, and whenever I press it, I want it to get the active camera. So it's going to begin compiling all of this information, or not compiling it, but executing this information, and it's going to set that local rotation. So let's just test this out really quickly. Let's hit Control S just to keep things nice and simple. We're going to play to test our level. Give it just a moment to do so, and then press the thumbstick, and you'll see here that nothing is happening. That's because we're missing an execution somewhere. So let's hit Escape. Let's go back into Flow. And whenever we press the thumbstick, it's going to get that active camera, but you'll notice that we didn't do anything with the out. And so what we need to do now is plug that into the in here. All right. Now let's hit Control S, and let's go into Stingray, and we'll test the level. And then now, if we press that thumbstick, you'll see that he is moving, and he's facing the direction that the camera is facing. Okay? So as you can see, I'm rotating the camera around, and then if I press that left thumbstick, he begins to move. Now, I need that to update all the time. I don't want to wait for the camera to move in a certain direction, and I don't want him to just rotate in that direction. So let's take a look at our code and go just a little bit further at this point. So we've got our thumbstick, we're getting that camera, and we want that local rotation to go ahead and update. We want to update the position of our character. So let's just trying to make sure that I have everything. Let me look at this one more time, just kind of from the overview. I want to take my rotation out, and I want that to go to the in of my move mover, and then the move mover is going to go out to my local rotation here. So that way we're now getting our position back. But that doesn't solve the issue of our rotation all the time. Got the rotation, we've got our forward vector. Let's see here. I see it here. Our left thumbstick, we also want to take that axis value and we want to plug that into the forward vector of our rotation here. So now the rotation of the character will match the rotation of the thumbstick. So let's hit Control S to save. Let's go back to Stingray. Let's give that a quick test. And then you'll notice that we are now rotating and moving as expected. Perfect. So now we have a little bit more of a problem. We don't have any animation on this, and I want that animation back. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to set up the animation events whenever we press that left thumbstick, and then we'll continue on from there.